We haven't seen the iPhone 15 lineup yet, but the rumors of the upcoming 16 Pro are already surfacing. And after examining them, I can say that it might just become the best iPhone of the decade, or at least a very worthy upgrade. So let's take a look at what Apple's got cooking in secret labs in Cupertino. The first leak I want to touch on comes from Ross Young, a very reliable supply chain leaker. In his Twitter, he first suggested that it was time to start sharing iPhone 16 leaks, and followed that up with the first bomb: the displays are gonna be bigger. The 16 Pro will measure at 6.2x inches, while 16 Pro Max at 6.8x inches. X stands for the second decimal number, which is unknown. So the displays could possibly be 6.27 and 6.89 inches, for example. It is yet unclear how that will be achieved. It could be either thinner display bezels or straight up bigger form factor. Also, we don't know whether this display growth will be applicable to standard models, so we can assume it's the next step for separating Pro iPhones from standard ones. Here is an interesting thing. The leaked roadmap shows that in iPhone 16 Pro, Apple will adopt the under-display Face ID and a hole cutout for the selfie camera. I think that's about the right time to do it. Of course, Android users will joke about having these holes for many years at that point, but does it really matter? We'll get it when we get it. We still have no leaks regarding the brightness or refresh rate, but judging by Apple's roadmap for displays, the refresh rate will still be 120Hz, but this time for all models, Pro and standard ones. And I find that unlikely since 120Hz is Pro motion, and if Apple decides to put that into standard iPhone models, this would make the difference even smaller, decreasing the sales of Pro models. Now, do you remember those haptic volume control buttons we were expecting to see in the iPhone 15 Pro this year? Yeah, we won't get them with the iPhone 15 lineup. However, there are rumors that suggest that Apple has decided to save this feature for the 16 Pro, which will be released next year. According to Mark Gurman, Apple has faced certain problems that have to do with costs and complexity, so postponing that until the 2024 will give enough time to sort everything out. And if you ask me, I think that is a good decision, even if the problems weren't present. Because the list of improvements in the 15 Pro is already long enough, and adding solid-state buttons to it would seem like an overkill, leaving less space for 16 Pro to improve on. Also, solid-state buttons are not an essential thing to have, so I'm fine with the delay and can't wait to test out the 16 Pro. I think we can all agree that the design of the 16 Pro will stay the same as for the 15 Pro. Rounded edges, more curvature on the glass, titanium. We know all that already, and from what I'm picturing in my head, that should be the ultimate design. Robust, rugged, yet elegant and stylish. So even if 16 Pro will look exactly the same as the 15 Pro, I won't be angry, but I still need to test out the 15 Pro first to say for sure, so stay tuned for that. Another rumor I also want to touch on is the camera rumor. First, we still know nothing about cameras on the 15 Pro. We don't know whether the resolution will be improved, which features will we get, and so on. So I can't say anything about the cameras on the iPhone 16 Pro except that they will be better than on the 15 Pro and 14 Pro. Will we finally get 8K videos or 4K 60 action mode? It's unclear yet, but there is one more thing we're all sure about: the periscope camera. Yes, that again. The talks about iPhones adopting this design have been circulating for a while, but until the 15 Pro leaks started flowing in, we weren't really sure. But now, when we know that the periscope lens is coming to the 15 Pro Max, we have an insight of what's gonna happen to the 16 Pro. Since this year, this much better zoom option will be limited to 15 Pro Max models only, and as we all know how Apple now treats phones, we can assume that the periscope camera will become a standard in iPhone 16 Pro, arriving in both models. However, a well-known leaker, Ming-Chi Kuo, says that periscope could still be limited to Pro Max only even in 2024. Unfortunately, we can only guess what could make Apple commit such a tea-tree to us, because as the iPhone 12 lineup has shown, the camera difference between the 12 Pro Max and 12 Pro wasn't really driving sales that much. And if Apple decides to go the same same way now, this may also be a poor decision, but again, only time will tell. Another important improvement we could finally see is Apple designed 5G modem. We thought we would see it in action in the 4th gen iPhone SE, but there is a real chance that the 16 Pro will be the first iPhone to adopt that. Apple needs their own modem to break free from Qualcomm and get even more control over the iPhone manufacturing. Word on the street is that Apple plans to take things one step at a time. They will start by using the modem chip in a single device, then gradually roll it out to other devices. So don't expect Qualcomm to be out of the picture overnight, but Apple isn't stopping at just the modem chip. They've got their sights set on developing their own Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chips too. And we could even see it in 2024 already. This would be sick. The Type-C that's gonna be introduced in the iPhone 15 lineup will stay for sure, and if our assumptions are correct, the data transfer speed will stay the same as on the 15 Pro models. Of course, higher speeds would be better, but even the speeds we're expecting now will be mind-blowing. It is also safe to say that the 18 chip in Pro models of iPhone 16 will be even more powerful than the upcoming A17, and even more power efficient thanks to 2nm manufacturing process. This A18 chip will be a serious powerhouse, let me tell you. Newer reports, however, aren't sure that there will be a switch to 2nm in 2024 and that A18 will still be a 3nm chip. So maybe the performance boost and efficiency improvement won't be as dramatic as I'm hoping, but the same reports also say that the memory standard will be updated to LPDDR5X, which should give even higher bandwidth, less latency, and higher performance. So even if the shift to 2nm doesn't happen, the power boost will still be there. Now let's talk about unconfirmed information such as battery size. We don't even know how it will change in the 15 Pro models, but judging by the current trend, it's gonna become slightly bigger. The 12 Pro has a larger battery than 11 Pro, 13 Pro has an even bigger one, and the 14 Pro's battery is also bigger than that. So the trend is clear as day, the batteries are getting bigger. I'm not sure the capacity improvement will be dramatic in any way, but every little bit helps. Let's just wait and see about that. But what I am personally really curious about is the storage. We all know how greedy Apple is, and we also know that iPhone 14 Pro with base 128GB storage can shoot 4K ProRes. So this makes me think that Apple might have to increase the storage size with the 16 Pro. I initially was expecting that with the 15 Pro, but the chances of that happening are pretty low. But in 2024, it would be almost impossible to get away with 128GB base storage, so Apple will be almost forced by the realities to make this change. Can't wait for that. Overall, the iPhone 16 Pro is shaping out to be a great phone. It's gonna look good, have great specs, amazing display, and fantastic cameras. So if you have 14 Pro in your hands, you may want to hold on to that until 2024. And what do you think? How do you like these rumors? Write your opinion in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.